All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Rollo Tomasi, some manosphere talking nonsense to cover today. Let's talk about Rollo Tomasi and this crazy ass rules that he put out on tweet. He got checked for it, okay, and he's not, he was quite angry. I'm gonna play a little bit of the video, then we'll talk about the crazy rules, and then see if we can get anything out of it. This lesson. A donkey can teach you something. You never know, right? Jolason says, "I haven't watched the show since Monster was still living with his mom." Oh, you could catch up right away. You catch up. Good show. Good show. Good show. Absolutely. He's a big boy now. But yes, let's get back to Rollo Tomasi and these quote unquote big babies here. Rollo Tomasi, Sneeko, and whatchamacallit. I'm gonna play the video a little bit and then we'll talk about. Okay. Well, let me first of all cover these rules and I'll play the video. So he was being checked. Okay, this gentleman right here, the one with his mouth wide open. Okay, it's a guy who wrote a book called the book is called Rational Male. Okay, the book is supposed to teach men about the nature of relationships, intersexual dynamics. But basically, this is like quote unquote the white godfather of the manosphere. Okay, you know what the black godfather was, right? He was, right? But this is Rollo Tomasi. He's the godfather of them, fresh and fit. So he had eight steps as the quickest path to becoming a high value man, and all they asked him to do is like, hey, listen, what is a high value man? And he refused to give them a definition, and then that's how they say, all L broke loose, right? That's how they say it, right? Yes, but let me just go ahead and play some of this, and then I'm gonna come back to the rules that he set for a term that he doesn't want to define. Right? He set up 8 steps, fastest route to becoming a highest value. What is a high value man? Right? But back when I first started joining these conversations about going on 2 years now, well, around 2020 or so, I was like, high value man. It sounds slow. At the time, I didn't really understand all of this stuff. I'm trying to figure out what these people are talking about. It sounds like all these people are slow. That's what my initial thoughts were until I took some time. This manosphere space thing taught me a lot of patience, to be honest with you, because I get triggered and then I'm like, okay, you gotta be patient. They're trying to say something, right? And but yeah, it's crazy. But let me play a little bit of it and then let's go back a little bit. Let's see.
You guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
It's not advice. Focus on family. Maybe you should not get married. I mean, I don't know why that's big.
It's maybe advice.
I'm not saying it's advice. What I'm saying.
So he put a tweet out and then he's claiming it's not an advice. A lot of them play that game, right? They'll put out a tweet, they'll put out a word, a bunch of people are following them, but they were like, no, I'm not really an advisor. But these people are following you and they're taking everything you're saying as gospel truth. But at some point, I had no choice than to just admit that, okay, it's not really an advice.
You're right.
You're right, it's not an advice, but you are influencers, okay? They are influencers and they are influencing a lot of people. And this is why I'm having this conversation. Those 46 people that will come in and find out that we're talking about this, they can see that they are all off. But anyway, let me play a little bit, then we'll go through the 8 steps, quickest path, and see. I want to see what your thoughts are about that.
Is this so over the fucking top that
they're arguing? These are the red pill people. Okay, we're gonna talk about red pill in a second. These are the red pill people, manosphere people. They're arguing with themselves now. Less than 2 years, the old empire is falling apart because there was no bad foundation in the first place. Okay, bad foundation in the first place.
everybody wants to take it out of context, which is exactly what you guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
It's not advice.
Sneeko was the poster boy child of the red pill space in the last 1 year or so. I'm so proud to see that he's showing some growth, right? That's why I said you gotta. These people are going through a process. Millions. Okay, I'm exaggerating maybe a little bit. Let's just say thousands, because I don't know the numbers, right? Are gonna get stuck in a rage and never come out of it. Okay, I know 60-year-old men that are inside of rage, red pill rage they call it, right? But Sneeko is actually going through the process and is questioning anything that doesn't make sense. He's questioning it, like, but that doesn't make any sense. How do you put out a tweet 8 steps and you're saying it's not an advice? It's not making sense to him. Well, Rolo is ending up on the receiving side of the kids he raised on the internet, and it's not liking it. It's calling them names already. Shame, insult, guilt, need to be right.
What it is it's okay. It's saying that this is the most extreme way to do things. Okay, here's the quickest path to. If I told you this, look,
he couldn't say it. Why would you say a word, a phrase, and you're having a hard time saying it? The quickest path to high value man. They're about to show you right now.
I said the quickest way for you to make $1 million.
That sounds like advice.
Is to go steal it from the bank or go to steal it.
The quickest way to make $1 million is to go steal it. So they asked him, so what was it? He said, was it a joke? He said, no, it's not a joke. It's more like an apathetic. Okay, all right, Rolo. I actually read the book. I thought the book was quite insightful, but it's extreme as usual. It's not human experience as usual. When human experience, that's why they call it the red pill and the blue pill. That when normal humans see these things, they're like, no, I'd rather take the blue. I like to experience it as it goes. I don't want to know all these extremes that may never happen to me. I like to experience it as we go, right? The quickest path, okay? I don't know if you can see that. Let's go through it. Let me make it bigger. It said the quickest path to becoming a high value man. 1, do not get married. 2, avoid family creation. Let's sip to that. I'm drinking water today. No soda for me. No sugar. All right. Number 3, vasectomy in your 20s. 4, lift consistently. Can you see my arms? No, it's all dark in here, right? 5, eliminate all sedations. That means no drinking, no weed, no getting high, right? That's what that means, right? No, yeah. I guess that's what that means. I think so. 6, learn game and networking, right? So now this is the point where we say there's game. At least this one is not so dark and black that they think there's no game. It's always said there's game anyway. Learn game and networking. Number 7, play to your strengths, build wealth. Okay. Number 8, resist easing up on your focus. All right, so now they're stuck. Now Sneeko is stuck on vasectomy in your 20s. It's not making sense to him. I'm gonna play it.
Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it? If I tell you to go fucking jump off a cliff, are you gonna go jump off a cliff?
Right,
There are literally people. There are people that will do exactly what you tell them to do, because now you're tapping into their pain points. You're tapping into things they're actually going through, right? So if you tell them to go, yes, they might just jump off a cliff. If you're a highly influential personality, yes, Rolo, we're not saying it's your fault. We just want you to be aware that, yes, it's possible. Right? You can see it all over the place. Lost head, lost souls. And we call them lost souls. Right? They literally take your word for word. So you can't come around and say you take me out of context. To them, they're like, today I saw another video about Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate's brother. They were supposed to be the flagship Red Pill brothers. Now they're denouncing. They don't want to be a part of it, right? The guy said, those guys, please don't associate their name with them. They're autistic. That's what he said, which means social issues, social senses issues, right? It's all falling apart because it never made sense. He had no foundation in the human experience. The human beings are emotional beings, social beings, okay? So if you're off, if they can read that you're off, that you just, right? So now you can't come back around and say somebody is taking you out of context when you're teaching them to literally don't tolerate context. Everything is black and white, ones and zeros. I don't care about feelings. You can't do that. That's confusing to these kids.
By the way, here's the other thing: is I'm also
The Godfather is arguing with his own children on the internet. What would you be that?
responding to Dr. Richard Reeves in this as well.
Okay, there's a lot of context about it, sure, but all the rest of the list, you're equating vasectomy to lifting, game, play to your strength, resisting up on easing your focus. The rest of it sounds like general advice.
Okay, well let's say so. So let me ask you. So is it the vasectomy part that's throwing you off?
Really genuine good advice, right? The rest of it.
Is it the vasectomy part?
Yeah,
Do you agree?
Vasectomy, I think they said is 97% reversal success, but then there's studies that came out through the live stream itself that it does affect fertility later on too, potentially, right? Not only that, the longer you wait, the lower the reversal rate goes, but it also affects fertility later on. So these kids, their issue is not being able to get women. And now you're telling them to do vasectomy. Actually, a lot of them actually would like to do family. They fantasize about the idea of family. They're just struggling with what they want. But you're talking about vasectomy. Some of them will say, hey, I'm converting to Islam. I'm doing that. Is confusion everywhere. And there's some simple principles. There's very, very simple principles. Life is a journey of faith. The idea of trying to find out everything up front is a failing strategy. It doesn't work. You will never know everything up front. It's giving them the quickest path, meaning you shouldn't want to do this, but if you want to do it, there you go. But then you're at best confusing.
Agree with pretty much everything else except for the vasectomy part.
The first three is weird because then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that?
You forget that these kids will ask you why. Why? They're going to ask you why. If you're not prepared for the why, you shouldn't be teaching in the first place. Really, you should not be teaching in the first place. Okay? All right. He has a series of books. I stopped at one. The first one, Rational Male. Thought it was insightful. But if the wrong people read that book, they're gonna be angry with themselves. It's gonna show up like they're angry with women, but they're actually just angry with themselves. That's what the red pill rage is, right? It's crazy.
Rich, the guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you gonna do with your life?
Right. Maybe this is actually meant so that you'll get it. You'll have a freaking epiphany about all the shit that you have to sacrifice to get to that in the first place.
But Rolo, it's not working. That's the point being made right now that you're not getting, Rolo. It's not working. Right? You give people extreme studies. You're giving a bunch of kids access to extreme studies with the way the human mind works. You're not paying attention to the source of this audience, their motives. What's their motivation to want to consume your content? That's important, right? In fact, we could start with this conversation. What is the motivation for, what's his name, Sneeko, having this argument with you? You need to pay attention to that. I see that he's trying to do that by saying, wait, is the vasectomy the issue, right? No, it's not. The point is that you're creating confusion for something that was meant to be very simple. When it's time for babies to walk, they start walking. If they don't walk by the ages of 7, 8, they're going to need a professional help. It's going to get harder and harder. You're asking men, not you particularly, but a lot of people you're raising are asking men to wait to 35, 45 before they get married because somehow they'll be wiser. It's not working. Okay, there's a reason why they weren't married up to that point in the first place. It's not working. You're trying to help nature. You're confused. You're trying to eat red pill, but you're trying to create another pale color in the first place. It's confusing, right? And it will always be confusing unless you get to the point where you start bringing it down to individual case by case level. If you don't bring people's relationship issues down to individual level, if you keep capping about societal issues, there are society issues, but it starts, charity begins at home. We need to assess the person you're speaking to first. What is their motivation? There's always a motivation for people to want to consume a certain type of content, or for them to be obsessed, or to find themselves relating to a particular topic so hard. There's a motivation. We're not gonna pretend there's no motivation. There's a motivation. That underlying thing needs to be assessed, right? If it's not assessed, you will continue to create all of this confusion that you're seeing right now. Yep, it's it right there. Anyway, I thought I'll bring that up to speed, but it's all falling apart because it's useless. It's not working. Okay, the red pill ideology is a dangerous thing when it ends up in the wrong hands. Okay, a bunch of immature people, right? We need to keep saying that hard, not to discount some of the good things in it, but so you can pay attention. You can pay attention. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I released a video earlier. FBI on their ass, and I'm glad. Speaking of FBI, I released a video earlier on this channel. It's an 8-minute video. Make sure you watch it after. It's an 8 minutes video. You can find it and watch it later. The video is called "What is the Red Pill?" So this is Red Pill Part 2. You could call this Red Pill Part 2. Here's a little bit of the video. I'm not going to play it off. If you want to watch the whole thing, I did mention the FBI thing in the video as well. So if you want to take a look at it once we're done, feel free to do that. But here's the beginning of the video. So what is Red Pill? Hey there, welcome back. This is Ola, the host of Man of Prestige, coming to you live from my Empire Pro studios. Today, we're reviewing a concept that's been gaining attention over the years, Red Pill, the Red Pill ideology. You might have heard this term before, maybe even from the iconic movie The Matrix. But what does it mean? And why do men turn to it after going through difficult breakups or divorces? And why do some women turn to it in the bid to understand and sympathize with such men's plight? Stick around because we're about to explore it all. All right, let's start by tracing the origins of the red pill concept. Remember that mind-bending scene in The Matrix where Neo is offered a choice between the red pill and the blue pill? Well, that red pill became a powerful metaphor for awakening from societal illusions. It inspired countless discussions, and its influence soon spilled over into popular culture. Beyond the movie reference, it has come to... All right, I'm going to leave it at that right there. If you want to watch the video later on, watch it. What I wanted to do, particularly right now for this part 2, is to review some of the comments. I know some people left some comments. Look, Ola reconfirmed. No, it is. Again, I think somebody mentioned that. I'll talk about that in a second here. In the comments area, shout out to Gracious Greatness, left a $2 super sticker with this comment here. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So the reason why I did this video is because anytime I'm put on the spot and people say, what is red pill? All over the place a little bit, so I was like, you know what? Let me put something clean, a little bit cleaner together. I do understand the red pill. What I understand about it is that the truth as it is, not sugarcoating, or hey, let me fantasize that the world is just a perfect place where people are good. That's blue pill, right? So the truth and nothing but the truth. But this, with human experience, people like to People like to be humans. Like, they don't want to know, like, whatever the fuck you're calling truth. They need to just be human, right? And oftentimes that can come with pain, but that's part of human experience, right? That's not a crime. That's not something you're supposed to eliminate. You're a human being, right? But there are people that take it to the extreme, and that's where the whole thing came from. So it's, especially if I'm on another person's platform show, and everybody, especially like, for example, at the Beast show a few days ago, some gentleman, shout out to Kene, I saw your comment earlier. We'll talk soon, by the way. People got triggered because it's too harsh, too much of harsh reality. You too will get triggered if I paint the picture of it gets too much, right? It can get too much. That's why we're human beings, and that's why we talk about social intelligence, the emotional intelligence. It's not what it looks like on the surface, but there are feelings going on inside. And to completely pretend like those feelings don't exist, either you're a man or woman, it's just retarded behavior, okay? That's just you being socially awkward at best, okay? And so I decided to do this video to keep it straightforward. This is what it is. This is how it's being manipulated. This is how it's being used wrongly, right? And this is what I see it as today. I see it as just wrong. It's net negative for me personally, okay? So and that's why I did the video. So Gracious Greatness says, let me blow this up a little bit. Let's blow this up a little bit. Where are the comments? There you go. All right, so he says, thanks for this breakdown. I agree with many of your points. However, although the FBI, this is the point you're making, Just Jay, right? Although the FBI might not have issued a report themselves, some reputable news outlets, Fox News, etc., have articles that highlight the agency are monitoring certain words. Yes, exactly. Right? So the words that may correlate with some of the things you will hear in the red pill space, right? Nevertheless, I hope we all as individuals, diverse groups, and a society shall be able to find common ground again, plus steer clear of the fringe extremism of many movements. Yes. It's the extreme. It's the same thing with the extreme of the feminist movement as well. Some of you ladies get triggered by that, but that's just the reality. You have to understand, in any movement, ideologies, religion, there's somebody that's going to take the way to another level that's not what you're saying. But they're the loudest. They tend to be the loudest. Okay. So some of us may say, no, I don't want to associate myself with that. Even Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate just said that, just tweeted that. He deleted it after the fact, but he deleted that now. Like, it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. It's people are artistic, all right? So that's just the reality, And for me, I can't associate myself with. I can understand the plight, the complaint, the unfairness in the laws that you created, man, right? And if you're going to change any laws, if it's really that deep, you're going to have to line up, legislation processes, due process, and be patient. You're not going to do it by being aggressive and being rude to women on the internet. It's not going to work. Will it work? Right? So I know I'm the first one that told you that, right? So anyway, Michael P, shout out to Michael P. Michael P says, this is a very good and well-balanced video about what the red pill is, Ola. Well done. Let me point out, however, that not all men and women who discover the red pill necessarily turn to red pill. That's true. After a relationship, he's continue. Turn to red pill after a relationship, marriage breakdown, or divorce. Some people just hear about the red pill because it has become mainstream in the society. Yes, we're getting into that space right now, but it's going viral because people can relate to the issues, right? That's why. Okay, it's not just a situation where I'm interested in the topic and then it's going viral. We're not there yet. It's not mainstream like that. I don't believe so anyway, But I know some people are starting to discover it. Like, for example, I was on Anti-B show, and some people were saying, what is red pill? Which is what motivated this video, right? What is red pill? So those people, like, they didn't discover it that way. They discovered it because we're having a certain topic, and people said, right? But the people that keep the glue together, the people in the echo chamber, is the issue is this breakfast. Somebody chopped premium break fast. Don't get it twisted. So some people just hear about the red pill because it's just become, it has become popular because people are more aware of what's happening around them in society. Yeah, no, I'm smelling the cap a little bit there. No, you know. In general, yes, but not the red pill. In general, people are more aware of things in general, but the red pill, the source of it's going viral for the last 2-3 years, first of all, COVID, right? It's not new, by the way, but in terms of the last wave we just seen, yes, COVID, people stuck at home, people angry at the other gender. It's a big chunk of, if you're going to credit it properly. And it's not like some people don't discover just from learning stuff, but yeah, majority the people that are making this go viral are exactly that. Breakups, divorces, precisely. Okay. Is the guys who get stuck in red pill rage, right? And negative aspects of the ideology that are lost souls. That's what we're saying, right? The ones who allow it to rule their life are the problem. Just like any religion or ideology that you take to extreme, right? It is good for men and women to be aware of what's happening around them. Yeah, but it's also good for them to be aware that we are not designed to know everything before it happens. It's supposed to be an experience, right? Because what you're going to end up doing is prejudging even the best opportunities for you to actually experience good experiences. You will prejudge it, you will sabotage it, right? So it's like, which should I know everything up front, even though at least what I know is what I know, or should I miss out on opportunities of life and love? I think I think it's better to just have a human experience. Okay, you see the smile that came on my face when I said that? I think that's what makes it sweet, right? Seek common ground and approach with caution. Bless. You made some good points. I absolutely agree. Not absolutely. I agree with a lot of your points. I want us to. I don't think we can afford to cap about this breakdown, the breakup and divorce. We can't afford to cap about that. People need to start admitting that. Listen, I was disappointed, and when I went on the internet to search for answers, I stumbled into certain ideologies that almost took me out. I need more people to admit to that. No, I don't care. But I care, right? I think people need to admit to that, I should say. Okay? All right. Chinye don't arrive. Chinye says, great work, Allah. Shout out to you, Chinye. Oyade says, but they say men are not emotional. Yeah, that's false. Men are emotional. Men or women have the same emotions. We have emotions, not same emotions. Every individual have different emotions, right? But we have emotions, right? We express it, but men repress. Societal constructs, right? And this is what it leads to, an explosion of anger and resentment. Yeah, very, 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 very apt. Very almost accurate, This is what's going on. What you said is what's going on. Maddy Love seems to have enjoyed this. This is good stuff. Alright, so please feel free to share it. I just wanted to do a part 2, address some of the comments. Right? And but now I want to go into the main topic of the day, the reason why we're here. And I'll be right back.